The U.S. President Donald Trump is a very unpredictable person, especially regarding the war in Ukraine. At one moment, he says Ukraine can win the war, and the next he takes a map showing the situation on the front from Zelensky and says, "Give Putin whatever he wants." Sometimes he says Russia is on the brink of collapse, and then again, Russia will crush Ukraine. It's as if Trump himself isn't fully aware of the situation. In fact, expecting much from a president whose chief advisor is a billionaire real estate developer is not entirely fair.
Against the backdrop of growing political confusion, Trump once again wants to meet with Russian President Putin. This time, Trump plans to hold the meeting differently, in the territory of the European Union, in Bulgaria. We'll talk about this project in today's video. Please like the video and share your thoughts in the comments.
Donald Trump is planning to meet with Russian President Vladimir Putin, this time in Hungary, a member of the European Union. The previous unproductive meeting took place in Alaska, where nothing more important happened than Trump and Putin taking photos together. This time, Trump has appointed Secretary of State Marco Rubio to be responsible for preparing for the meeting. Rubio currently also serves as Trump's national security advisor. In recent years, U.S. Secretaries of State have not had as broad powers as Rubio does now. Considering that Rubio is one of the most prominent politicians in the Trump administration, it seems natural that the president places such trust in him. As part of preparations for the meeting, Rubio spoke on the phone with Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov. They are also expected to meet soon. Several major publications reported that Rubio would meet with Lavrov on October 23rd, but CNN wrote that the meeting between the top diplomats of the U.S. and Russia was canceled following their phone conversation on October 20th. According to the outlet's sources, the two sides held differing views on how to end the war in Ukraine. However, the very fact that Trump put Rubio in charge of preparing for the meeting shows that this time the American president does not intend merely to take a photo with Putin. Before the meeting, Trump wants both sides to reach a concrete agreement, and after it takes place, to make a grand announcement about it to the whole world. Before the Alaska meeting, Trump's billionaire builder friend Stephen Witkoff had spoken with Russia. It is highly likely that Mr. Witkoff's misunderstanding of Putin's words was the reason why the Alaska summit ended up with nothing more than empty talk. Before reaching an agreement on a second meeting with Putin, Trump began talking about the possibility of giving Tomahawk missiles to Ukraine. Zelensky even traveled to Washington to discuss the issue, but Trump told him during that meeting that for now he could not provide those weapons to Ukraine. Not without reason. He likely did this as a concession to Russia, perhaps sending a signal to Putin, Ukraine is getting a very dangerous weapon, one that could make the war more problematic for Russia in serious matters, but for now, I'll hold off on giving them this weapon. Maybe we'll meet again and discuss it. Whatever the case, Trump's tactic with the Tomahawks worked. I don't think anything useful came out of this meeting. Right now, Trump is inspired by having ended the war in the Middle East, but not much is required of him to end the war in Gaza. It would be enough just to tell the Israeli Prime Minister, who depends on America, stop, announce it, the war is over. There's America, there's Israel. Netanyahu, understanding this well, simply abandoned his plan to occupy Gaza and declared victory in the war. At the beginning, Israel fought Hamas in Gaza, but because the forces were not equal, the war soon turned into an operation of mass killing of civilians. Over the past 2 years, Israel has mainly been fighting against civilians. The killings of Nasrallah, Sinwar, or Daif were not part of a war. They were carried out within the scope of special operations. In short, ending the war in the Middle East is not a problem for America. If Washington wanted to, it could stop Israel at any moment. But the war in Ukraine is different. The existence of two major states there depends not on America, but on themselves. If Trump went to Zelensky and said, "Come on, give half of Ukraine to Russia," the Ukrainian president would refuse. There is no country in that war capable of forcing peace by pressuring one side. According to American publications, during the last meeting, Trump didn't even want to see Zelensky's map of the frontline situation, saying, "I don't care where the border goes." You might remember that in one of the videos, we mentioned that the issue of Ukrainian land doesn't matter at all to Trump. According to the Wall Street Journal, Trump told Zelensky, "Donbas doesn't interest me. You'll sign a peace deal with Russia as soon as possible."
I'll repeat myself. I don't believe anything useful will come out of this meeting between Putin and Trump either. I'm just curious how Putin will fly to this meeting. Hungary isn't that far from Russia, actually. If he just flew over Ukraine, Budapest would be only a step away. But now, Comrade Putin can't fly through Ukrainian airspace. He can't go through Belarus and Poland either. Relations with Poland are at their worst right now. It used to be possible to fly directly from Moscow to Budapest, but now Putin will have to work up quite a sweat to reach Hungary.
According to one possible route, Putin's Il-96 aircraft will fly over the Black Sea toward Turkey, then through Greece, Albania, and Italy across the Adriatic Sea to Bosnia, then to Serbia, and from there to Hungary. The distance from Moscow to Budapest is less than 2,000 kilometers, but if he flies along the above route, Putin's plane will have to cover about 5,000 kilometers. According to another possible route, if Bulgaria opens its airspace, Putin could reach friendly Serbia and from there Hungary, much faster through the Black Sea. We'll see and keep watching. By the way, the date of the meeting has not yet been confirmed.